Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for your daily dose of the roars as I scream about the stupid stuff going on in the world of technology. Hey, you know that jackass in his basement that keeps trying to corner startup founders and tech business founders and ask them, hey, what is your counterintelligence policy? And you know how all those founders, whenever I ask those questions during recorded videos, kind of look at me like I'm a fucking idiot? Yeah, maybe the dipshit in the basement is actually trying to say something. just gonna put it out there. Anyways, I don't have long to talk. The timer is clicking down, so I gotta say everything I need to say in about 9.5 minutes here. Anyways, North Korean infiltrator caught working in Amazon IT department thanks to lag. 110 millisecond keystroke input raises red flags over true location. So that's fucking right. Amazon had an IT department worker that was literally coming from North Korea, was able to infiltrate their systems, was able to get hired into their systems, work on Amazon systems, and now Amazon wants a goddamn pat on the back because they were able to figure it out because of 110 millisecond latency. Hey, Amazon. Yeah, what's your counterintelligence policies? Like, what's your policy for? What are your systems for figuring out if somebody's getting an extra $300,000? Right, I talked with that. So we had somebody on the show, and I was asking them, and I literally said, I was like, how would you know if one of your employees' parents paid $1 million cash for a house in the Bahamas? And he was like, where are you going with that? It's like, right? Because if you're worried about intelligence operations, if you're worried about counterintelligence and that type of thing, one of the things to take a look at is how much money are your employees actually making, right? This is one of the big things back when I was in the military world. They were talking about that with one Delta operator. And got a really big bonus, got a really big fucking bonus, right? And he went out there and bought like the nicest of sports cars. And then he got dumped off of his team because he was stupid enough to go out and buy the nicest of sports cars. Because the team was like, look around and look at the average pay for Army personnel. How many Army personnel can afford a sports car like that? Damn near none of them. You go onto a new team, you buy a fancy ass sports car, that is putting a fucking target on your ass to say, that person is doing something interesting. Maybe people should figure out what that person is doing. And that's one of the big things, right? The whole idea, again, with intelligence and counterintelligence is understanding, what people are doing, where money is coming in, how they could be compromised, and the whole 9 yards. And one of the things I find interesting is that in the technology world right now, that there seem to be so few counterintelligence assets. But anyways, this is coming from Amazon. A North Korean imposter was uncovered working as a sysadmin at Amazon, the United States, after their keystroke input lag raised suspicions with security specialists at the online retail giant. And again, think about this, right? This is security specialists at Amazon who found this through keystrokes. Didn't find it through investigations. Didn't find it through other paths to find something might be going on that's a little bit weird. Found it through keystrokes. Normally, a US-based remote worker's computer would send keystroke data within tens of milliseconds. This suspicious individual's keyboard lag was more than 110 milliseconds. Amazon is commendably proactive in its pursuit of imposters, according to the source report. Oh, look, Amazon is commendably proactive. The news site talked with Amazon's chief security officer, Stephen Schmidt, about this fascinating new case of North Koreans trying to infiltrate U.S. organizations to raise hard currency for the Republic of Korea and sometimes indulge in espionage and or sabotage. So basically, Amazon, to be clear here, Amazon hired an enemy of the United States, who was able to conduct espionage and or sabotage in their systems, and they want a pat on the fucking head for that goddamn failure. Schmidt says that Amazon has foiled more than 1,800 infiltration attempts since April of 2024. Moreover, the rate of attempts continues apace, with Amazon reckoning it has seen a 27% quarter-over-quarter uplift in North Koreans trying to get into the Amazon corporation. And so one of the things to be thinking about this, like Amazon is a big target. Amazon is a big target, so if Korea or whoever else can go after Amazon, they should go after Amazon. But think about all of the other smaller targets out there, right? I bring this up. The reason I get so pissed off about this. So one of my best sponsors, no longer are, haven't been for a long time, was Spiceworks, right? Free network monitoring software. So you download their network monitoring software, you many times install it onto a server, and if the administrator is really fucking stupid, they install it onto this server using the global administrator credentials. Right? So think about this. This company, their product that they were delivering was literally network monitoring software for small to mid-sized businesses. Anybody could download it or use it. Right? And again, Scott Abel, you can see the fucking interview on the channel. When I asked him, I said, "What are your counterintelligence capabilities?" And he looked at me like I was a fucking idiot. Right? So think about this. Right? This is what's going on with Amazon. What about all of these other smaller startup companies? What are their abilities to deal with things like counterintelligence? Right? How many companies nowadays want you to install crap onto your computers and devices? How many companies, again, are doing VPN access and all that kind of stuff? Anyways, however, Amazon's success can be almost entirely credited to the fact that it is actively looking for DPKR imposters. Warren's its chief security officer, quote, "If we hadn't been looking for the workers, we would not have found them." With this company policy explained, a blip on the Amazon security radar was caused earlier this year when a new sysadmin's Amazon laptop monitor alerted security personnel about unusual behavior. Amazon security experts took a closer look at the flagged U.S. remote worker and determined that their remote laptop was being remotely controlled. So basically, there was a remote worker that had their computer in Arizona, and essentially somebody was remote desktoping into that computer to then be able to interact with Amazon systems. Let's see here. Causing the extra keystroke input lag, Schmidt emphasizes that good quality security software was key to this investigation. It turns out that the DPKR had access to this Amazon laptop located in Arizona. A woman found to be facilitating this fraud on behalf of North Korean imposter workers was sentenced to several years in prison. As well as red flag computer network symptoms, the fumbling use of American idioms and English language articles continues to be a giveaway when conversing with such imposters. So yeah, that is basically what is going on right now. And again, enemies of the United States are trying to get hired by American tech companies, infiltrate our systems, and again, what protections do we really have? The interesting thing that I see here is that this is all a technical protection thing. Because they saw millisecond lag with what was happening, that is how they were able to detect that person. So what if there wasn't the millisecond lag? What if they were able to do the operations in some other particular way? Would this type of person actually be discovered? I think that's a hell of a question. The fact that they were able to be hired in the first place, I mean, that's a hell of a thing to think about. This is one of the big things to be thinking about with remote workers, right? With remote workers, if they're spread all over the country, how do you know who they are? I mean, you think about this with security. That's one of the things with security. A lot of times security is just making things more of a pain in the ass. Like, people can do it. People can get away with it. It's just harder to do, right? So if you have an office somewhere and all your people have to come into the office, it's not like some Chinese national or some Korean national might not be able to get a job, but then they have to get a job and they have to actually come into the office and they have to interact with everybody, the whole 9 yards, right? That is actually level of security. As soon as they can remote in, that protection mechanism is no longer there. And so that's one of the things to be thinking about too. Again, in this whole remote work versus a return to office world, something to consider. So anyways, what are your thoughts? Put your thoughts down below. As always, I do these videos in order to support silicondojo.com. We have many classes coming up. If you're interested, take a look at our schedule at silicondojo.com. Again, these are free hands-on technology education. If you want to help support free technology education, there's a donor box link down below. And oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. I had to get close at the end. We got it by about 10 seconds. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. See y'all later.